Fire trucks were parked out in the middle of the road, big traffic jam. Sounds like common sense to me that they don't need to be out in the middle of the street. Blocking this side street is plenty sufficient. See, this is what these guys don't get. They have total disregard for we the people. All they care about is just showing their brute strength and power. There's a big, huge traffic jam, and it's because this fire truck was parked out in the middle of the street along with an emergency squad, EMS. Totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. Times have changed, people. We can't look the other way. If you've got kids, or you're planning on kids, look what you're giving to them. Look what they'll be inheriting. You men out there, you just gonna keep sitting around watching the football game every Saturday and Sunday, every Monday and Tuesday night? You're gonna just keep hanging out at the bar, wasting your life away while your kids are inheriting a very tyrannical country. A country very different from the one that your parents and grandparents gave you. Yeah, where's that World War II generation? Ladies and gentlemen, with all due respect, you need to really start thinking about what is happening in this country. This is not a joke. It's not a game. This is reality. The United States of America has been bought and paid for by a corporate, fascist, tyrannical government system. This is not the good old days of America, red, white, and blue, apple pie, and Chevrolet. This is all about tyranny, brute force, and who's got the most money to buy the next politician. These prostitute politicians are just as guilty of as these cops that kill innocent men and women and children. They don't discriminate. They kill anybody that makes them a little scared. Yeah, there's a lot of cops out here though, folks, that talk just like I do. They're either retired or they're about to retire and they're just sick of it. A lot of military too that have the same attitude. Tell you what, it's high time we start organizing. We need to start organizing just like our founding fathers did. Colony by colony, county by county, state by state. That's right. Because you know, when the crash happens, curfew will be installed. Daily curfews, travel routes will be restricted. And what happens if an EMP effect takes place? Or what if the internet goes down? We need to start planning for alternative communication. CB radios, shortwave, marine radios. Depends on where you live, what application you'll use. But these are the kind of things we need to start thinking about, folks. This is not fear porn. This is reality. Hard, cold reality. Start going to your city council meetings, your county commission meetings. You know, many of these county commission meetings are televised. Government access channel. Just think of how many people you can speak to. Give out your email address. Give out your YouTube channel. They have to play it. Government is restrained by the document. The Constitution was made to put government in a box. But unfortunately, the beast is starting to break out of the box. But we got to get creative, folks. We got to start thinking outside that box. Many of you already have. Many of you are doing absolutely tremendous work. Absolutely phenomenal work is taking place on YouTube, especially YouTube with the auditing movement, the cop watch movement. Absolutely wonderful. I applaud every one of you. I'm an old guy. I'm 56, man. I was on the radio in 1987 talking about the New World Order, and people were calling me conspiracy theorist for alleging there was a New World Order being assembled. In the 80s, people were freaking out on talk radio. Oh, that guy's a nut. He's a conspiracy theorist. The CIA did a good job in the 60s of coining that phrase. Yes, they did. They did that so they could dismiss any constructive criticism that rose up from the citizenry. They had to label us, demonize us, and dismiss us. Those who were alive during the killing of Kennedy. Yeah, Kennedy was trying to force AIPAC, that's the Israeli lobby, back in the 60s. Kennedy saw the threat of the Israeli lobby clear back in the 60s. He wanted them to be registered as an agent of a foreign government. He also didn't like the Federal Reserve. He printed something called the United States Notes. That's money not borrowed from the Federal Reserve, which is not federal, as many of you know, and it's neither has reserves either. It is a private corporation, and the gold is gone. It's ledger money. It's cyber money now on a digital account. Because in 1913, our prostitute Congress politicians sold us out. Federal Reserve Act. We have the best government money can buy, folks. That's right. Political prostitution is what Congress is all about. You know, in the Bible, Jesus talked about these people, these bankers, these banksters. He tipped their tables over. He drove them out with a whip. He also called them the synagogue of Satan. Read it. It's in Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and chapter 3 verse 9. Yeah, Jesus called them the synagogue of Satan. He said they claimed to be Jew, but they were liars. Don't try to tell me I'm anti-Semitic. I'm just quoting you the Bible, folks. A lot of these prophet preachers today, they don't have the guts nor the testicular fortitude to tell you the truth. That's right. They want you in their big building to help them pay for their carpet, their paint, their Mercedes, their Cadillac, their diamond rings. Yeah. That's what it's all about in the American churches today. A vast wasteland. You know, in the days of the Founding Fathers, those preachers, they recruited the militia. They gave sermons that made men's hearts fear for what was coming upon this land. They feared God more than they did man. They rose up and they enlisted themselves in the local county militia. They enlisted themselves in the local committee of safety, or the committee of correspondence, which is what the men who warned us the British were coming were a part of, the committee of correspondence. It was their duty to relay messages. They didn't have email, folks. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have the telephone nor the telegraph. They had to do it by horseback, from town to town, county to county, city to city. But they had a network. They had a local network where they knew each other, they had camaraderie. They had a unity. They didn't have infighting like we do today, folks. They had unity. They loved one another to death. They were willing to sacrifice all for their neighbor. That's the same attitude, folks, we need to revive, give birth to again. Love your neighbor as yourself. Those who claim to be your fellow patriot, your fellow citizen, let's learn that camaraderie, folks. Let's help the small YouTube channels rise up with more subscribers. Let's help the big guys when they get demonetized. Let's help promote their channel. We need to all help one another in this fight. We're all in it together. If we don't hang together now, we'll surely hang separately later. And a man far greater than me said that, and I'm just parroting his words. I'm just an old country boy from Ohio. But I was taught proper civics, and I was taught proper history. And our teachers led us into prayer every morning. Then we'd have the Pledge of Allegiance. Our teachers in the late 60s and 70s disobeyed the government. That's right, folks. See how many teachers today will disobey the government and lead your class, your children's class, in a prayer. And it's too bad we didn't pledge allegiance to the Constitution all these years. All these years, imagine if we'd been teaching our children, I pledge allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. I wonder where we would be today. I have a feeling we might be in a little better of a position. But we've advocated people, our children pledge allegiance to an inanimate object, which is a symbol, which is an awesome symbol. Don't get me wrong, folks. I love our flag, and it's a great symbol. But in reality, it teaches nothing other than a symbol, whatever a symbol can teach. But you know what? A document like our Constitution and our Declaration can give everlasting lessons of life. Life lessons that children won't forget. Those were the kind of teachers I had growing up in the countryside of Ohio. That's right. There's a difference when you're taught to remember substance rather than mere symbols. You know, substance over symbolism is that message. We have failed our children, folks. We have failed generations of people in this country. Young men and women, we have failed them. But it's not over, and it's not too late. We have a weapon that is an equalizer now. This great weapon, the electronic printing press, is just like that printing press, that mechanical printing press that was created by Gutenberg in the 1500s. We now have a similar weapon that's electronic. It's faster, it's stronger, and it can do a whole lot more. It's the great equalizer of our day. We were born for such a time as this, ladies and gentlemen. My arm is getting really sore. I do all my work from my iPhone. I hope I didn't restrict the volume with my hand. I don't think I did. I might have in a few places. I apologize. But please spread this video. Spread the other one that was right before it. Help me out. I'm a new channel. Click the bell, hit that like, and definitely subscribe. I'm not your normal YouTuber. I'm an old guy, 56 years old. Been at this for 31 years. And I'm just excited as can be to see all these young guys and girls coming up with all these channels. This is fascinating. We are such fortunate people to be living in the time we're living. We are witnessing history. And who knows where it's going to lead us, but it's certainly going to be interesting, to say the least, folks. I don't know what's going on here. There's a whole lot more cops. The helicopter's still flying right here over the scene. Guys are walking around over in the field. It's too far to camera shoot. But there's definitely something going on here. Stay tuned. I'll come back and record some more if anything happens, but I think for now I'm gonna have to sign off and let my arm have a rest, maybe go get a drink or some water. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for right now, this is it. I shall return shortly. And like I said, we are living in a different time, folks. We've got a police state. We've got a militarized police force in every county in America, just about. These guys have no regard for human life. They've demonstrated it time and time again for years and years. They killed more people since 9/11 in our own country, of our own people, than our enemy at war has killed of our soldiers. That's right, folks. Check that statistic out. Our own police have killed more Americans in our own country than the enemy at war since 9/11. Amazing. Over.